are buying another rusted out junk truck. It is a 1959 Chevy Apache that has sat since 1982. It is from Georgia. We're gonna go ahead and start this road trip so we can get there in a couple hours and see how bad she is. Here she is. About to get this thing loaded up. The trailer so we can get back on. Gonna go ahead and give it a quick wash. We're gonna see how this dingy blue, see if we can get some shine out of it. We are missing a transmission though. Alright, so I don't think she looks too bad. I didn't even bother brushing the other side. I just wanted to see how this side would look. And it's got that good patina that we want, so tomorrow we're gonna put tires on this thing and hopefully get it rolling and see if our motor's stuck. About to put these tires on so we can roll this truck around. This is always a great sign. 3 out of 4 so far spin. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Got these doors open. The floor pan is not horrible, but it's not great. Definitely gonna need a rocker panel or step, whatever this is called. I was looking on Classic Industries last night, so these are only like $100 a side. So other than that, I think we're in good shape. All the hinge mounts look good. Other than that, I think this is gonna be our main concern. Our VIN number is still on here, so we can bond this with the DMV. Our engine out there, not too good. It's got a hole in the valve cover, but just found this cool little lock. It is an Adlink. The patent number on the back says that this is a 1936 lock. Just found it hanging right there on that little hook. Pretty cool little find. I also think that the inner fenders in this truck look very good to be nearly 66 years old. I don't even see any rust that's all the way through in here at all. We will be painting all of this under the hood. With that being said, we're gonna do one more walk around. I've seen a lot worse. Again, this is a 59 model, so could be a lot worse. I've noticed that these rot out in the drip rail a lot inside, like right here, whereas this one is starting to surface rust. Again, those are not rust holes. That is where lights were right there, like that one. But all through here we're good. You come inside, looks good. No holes around the windows. Don't see any there. Nope. We have a very good platform to start with this truck. Probably going to find some doors because, as you can see, the bottom of this one is gone. Thanks to the junkyard for that. That is also the culprit to our rocker panel being gone. Or not gone, but just crushed. Again, that is not rusted out. It's still there. It's just crushed upwards. We're going to do cab corners, rocker panels. Try and cut out any of the rust in the cab that we can do without getting majorly into this build. Also got to put a floor in the bed because that's not good. We don't want a metal floor at all. So I'm gonna buy the kit and make it a wood floor like that was. Probably gonna find a new hood because this is trying to tear in half when I open it up. And when I say rocker panels, this is what I mean right here. That right there is just shot. So I'm gonna replace that. And also, this is a patina build. We're not fully restoring this. As for this 283, we're not ever gonna be using this. All right, we are here to harvest our 400 small block because the LS thing was a bust. This thing was supposedly just rebuilt when it was pulled. So let's get it in the shop and see if it'll spin over. All right, we can't pick it up, so we're gonna use this thing and hopefully pick it up. All right, so we got the motor up here. It spins over, but has almost no compression. I can see through the oil cap that the valves are stuck. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the valve covers off and see what's going on with that. Let's see what we got under here. Not bad, got some spider webs in here. You wanna spin her over for us, Hoss? Okay, let's check the other side. Get this thing tore down more, get the water pump off, got alternator brackets off. Cleaning it up now to rinse it off, or spraying it down rather, wiping it down. And we're gonna rinse it off. Got that fresh clear coat on here, looking good. About to bring the truck down here tomorrow to pull the old engine out and get it ready for this one. We got to swap the intake, and we're gonna paint the whole engine bay this weekend, so hopefully that looks good. Got this old beast into the shop. Let's get this hood up and get this motor out. Hood is off. Stripping this firewall down, pulling this radiator out. Gonna pull this horn out. Hopefully we can get this thing out tonight and get this thing cleaned up. Got the radiator out. Still had coolant in it. The heater cooler unhooked. Got to undo the transmission mounts, undo the motor mounts, and get this thing out. Moving right along. Got to hook this up. Got the motor mounts out, transmission mounts out, exhaust cut. It's time for this thing to get out. There's our 283. She lived a good life. I'm gonna run these numbers and see what it was truly, but she's out. Got a blank canvas now for the new motor that's over there somewhere. Now I gotta get these pine needles out and prep this thing for paint, pressure wash it, and see how far we get. All right, fellas, we just made the discovery. This is not a 283. This is a 327, apparently. So we might try and see if this is salvageable. Probably not, but we'll give it a shot. And just like that, she's out. Motor is in the square body out front. Leaking coolant all over the ground. That's great. EPA loves that kind of stuff. But yeah. Tomorrow, probably not gonna mess this, but Saturday we're gonna roll it out, pressure wash this out, and get the sanding on this bad boy. About to wash this thing, get it completely degreased. Gotta get those heater core hoses out actually first, and then we can get to washing. Got it cleaned up, got most of the grease off of the frame rails. Still got a little bit more down there, but it's currently 30 degrees out here, so we're having issues with the water freezing. Engine bay is washed up. No more grease around here. Our main area of concern. Still got to clean that cross member down there, but we're not worried about that right now. We're worried about the firewall and inner fenders. About 1 hour into this, we got this little section pretty well done. It still needs more work, obviously, but trying to get these inners, trying to get this radiator support, trying to make this look halfway decent. Got pretty bad pitting though, so I'm gonna try and go really heavy on the primer. First coat of primer is down. We're gonna let this dry tonight and come back tomorrow and see what we got. Next day, this is all dry. About to go hit this with some 400 and then get her painted up. Got this truck taped up. Just shot a little bit of primer to see how it was gonna look. Firewall is looking great, so I'm gonna go ahead and prime this now. This whole engine bay. First coat down, not too bad. Definitely got to get down on the frame rails and the leaf springs and the axle better though.
Pull many rear ends off with water running out of it.
It's pretty rough. It's crazy, it's not that rusty. Well, it looks like our 327 is at the end of its road for the old Apache. The last couple of days I was thinking about seeing how bad the bottom end was. I was thinking maybe we could pull the heads off and put it back in the Apache. We did some head work, but obviously this needs a full rebuild, so we're gonna stick to our 400 in here. Tomorrow we gotta get the flywheel, clutch and everything put in. We gotta go get our new transmission, install our new intake, and get some valve cover gaskets for it. Got the 400 on the stand. It's like brand new in here. Doing this oil pan gasket real quick. Then we're gonna slap this John in the truck. We also have the motor mounts over here. Just prep them for paint, let them dry off. We're gonna go ahead and spray that and do this oil pan gasket. So we got these custom mounts painted up for now. I'm not sure that I'm even gonna run these for a while because I just checked. The mounts that the truck shop had mount right here in the cross member, and I wasn't sure if this had holes for it, so I did not buy them yet. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and use these so I can put this thing in for now. And also we're gonna put the oil pan back on it, the flywheel, the clutch, and then put the bell housing back in it so we can put it back in the truck. Clutch is installed, pressure plate is installed, flywheel is also installed, as you can see. It is time to put the new release bearing in the bell housing and toss the bell housing back on this bad boy. We just got back from the truck shop in Charlotte. We got both cab corners for the truck and both rocker panels. We were gonna get new motor mounts, but for some reason, I guess someone custom made some for this truck, and the ones they had down there were super long, so I did not buy them. I'm gonna go check how those look, and I'm gonna see if the ones that the truck shop had will work. If not, we're gonna reuse the old ones though. All right, guys, so as you know, we tried these mounts on this 400, and they don't fit. They hit the harmonic balancer, so we're not using these. The last clip you saw was Saturday. Today is Monday, so the truck shop reopens tomorrow. We're gonna go ahead and run down and get some new mounts for this thing. so we can drop the engine in. All right, we're back again. We're gonna get these motor mounts and head back to the shop. Got these mounts, hopefully they work. If not, we'll be back in the morning, so let's do it. Had to do some slight grinding on these. Finally got these mounts trimmed up. About to stick the motor in. Got the mounts in there looking good. Let's do it. We finally got this engine in this truck, finally. Kind of a struggle, but she's all in there now, looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this intake off now. I have the Edelbrock on the way, so we can make this thing look fresh. I also ordered a distributor, so that'll be out of the way. We're gonna crank her up, hopefully here soon. We got the Edelbrock intake on, took off the factory intake. So now I gotta get a carburetor, a water neck for the thermostat. Gotta get our distributor and then see if she'll crank. It's been a few weeks. We just got some stuff in from Jegs. We got our electronic distributor, got our intake install kit. So now we can button this up and see if this bad boy will crank. About to pull this off and get the piston up on cylinder 1 and put this distributor in. Sort of slightly have a disaster. I'm just waiting to put the distributor in to time it. And I rotated the crank and we're hitting the mount right here where I did not grind it enough. So I did not grind that enough right there where the black marks are, right there. And this part's hitting, so now I get to raise the motor back up and take this off and take it back to the grinder so we can put the distributor in it. All right, guys, finally got a distributor that fits this truck without hitting the firewall. So now we can go forward with putting our spark plugs in. Got to time that, put the plugs on it. Got to mount the coil somewhere external. Put the carburetor on, put a thermostat in it, and put our starter on and see if this thing will crank. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these plugs out. All right, guys, as you probably could guess, it's been another few weeks since the last clip, but I finally figured out these starters. I had an automatic starter on it originally. After that I bought new. It was half a hole out, so I bought the proper starter for it, and it would not fit. So if you take a look at all 3 of these holes versus all 3 of those, that one's been drilled out on the original starter. So that is why this starter would not fit this truck. So I have to slot these holes out to make the starter fit. So maybe then we can get some crankage on this old beast and see if she'll fire up for us. This is our last resort for this 400. If this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do about this situation, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in and really hope that it works. It's the moment we've been waiting for. Cannot believe we finally got this freaking thing to crank over with the starter. I thought I was about to be swapping bell housings to an auto. So there's been a lot of little stuff with this 400. These have a 168 tooth flywheel like a 454, which is externally balanced. So I didn't know that when I got into this, and I kept going through the wrong starters. Also had trouble with the distributor back there. Luckily for me, all that's in the past now. That got me behind 3 weeks because we run a shop here too, and I don't have time to just sit here and mess with this 24/7. So this is like a spare time thing, and it kind of just didn't work out. But today is the day we're gonna get this thing cranked, I hope, and put all that stuff in the past. And if it cranks, I will go ahead and get a radiator, get all the hoses, get a thermostat, get a wiring harness for this truck, and she will be put back on the road ASAP. And hopefully we can make Run to the Sun 2025 with it, which is in 2 months, less than 2 months. So fingers crossed. Went ahead and slapped these new valve covers on. Now I have to put in a new oil pressure sensor because big oil leak down there, not good. Coming straight out of that. I thought it was because I had the valve cover off and it was running back, but that right there is leaking. So go ahead and stick this in and fix the distributor because I spun it over and it shot out. So now I get to restart on that too, but we do have fire. Alright, we got a runner. Had a little bit of an oil leak from the oil sensor up top, but you already know that. Had good oil circulation, so now we can order a radiator, a harness, and everything we need to make this run. And then we need a full body harness for this truck. And I gotta go back and get a floor pan and the bell housing access cover right here. Today is July the 10th. It's been a good 2.5 months, 3 months since the last clip you just saw. Finally got the drive shaft in this thing, new U-joints. This has got me very behind on it, not to mention the Plymouth out there, the Firebird and everything else, but nevertheless, we're back messing with this thing. Got to do brakes on it now, hoses, wheel cylinders. I was able to get the brake lines broke free on it. They spin nicely. So Advance Auto stocks literally nothing for this truck, so I have to order everything off of the internet, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I did order a radiator for it. Once the radiator comes in, I'm gonna put that in, do the coolant hoses, get the alternator put on it, put the water pump on it, and put a serpentine belt on it and crank this thing up and let it warm up for the first time in probably 20 years, 10 years. And when I say that, I mean the engine, not the truck. So, transmission's in, gotta put the shifter on it, and figure out how we're gonna do the throttle linkage up top, because I'm still very unsure on that. And it looks like we might have a little bit of an oil leak from this transmission, but we're gonna pretend I didn't see that. It'll be fine. It's been 3 months since I've seen this POV. The truck's back on the ground. Gotta put the radiator in today. Alternator, water pump gaskets, coolant hoses, shifter, wire the alternator. Trying to make this thing drivable this week. And we still got to do the body harness after all of that. Doing a little parts picking today. Gotta get some alternator bolts off of that bracket right there. And hopefully not get ate up by bees, but I got the repellent with me. I was making good progress with the original alternator bracket off of the 400, which this is not that one. The original is right here. The spacing on this is completely wrong for wherever the alternator is at. A one wire, it hits the head right here, so I don't know what this is from, but I had it down in the building behind the shop. So this one bolts down here and to the intake right here, and it spaces it out just enough to where it doesn't hit the head. So I had to sand this one down and paint it as well, but we're about to stick the alternator on this thing finally. Alternator is installed, fan is installed, water pump pulley is also installed. Starting to look pretty good under here. Tomorrow we got to get a belt, coolant hoses, got to get this port for the heater core. Probably just going to block it off and then block this one off because it's 100 degrees outside. We don't need heat right now. We'll worry about that when wintertime comes. But other than that, this thing's getting really, really close. We got to put the shifter in it. Just like I said earlier, just basics. Got Got coolant in the 400. Alternator's hooked up. Belt wise, still got to wire it to the switch inside and to the battery. And then we're going to crank it up and let it run. See if she can make a little drive around the parking lot. Kind of skipping around a little bit, but alternator is wired. Everything's wired like it should be, so this thing should literally crank right up with the fuel source. So I guess the next thing to do is to back it outside and see if it'll crank up, and we'll let it warm up for the first time with like a coolant system. It should run normally. All I did was temporary alternator setup so it will charge, but theoretically everything should be right on it and it should run. No issues, like timing's right, carburetor's good. Everything should be good on it, so let's push it outside and see how it runs. Got more parts for the Apache. Got the brake pads, brake hoses, wheel cylinders, floor pans. Pretty much everything we'll need to put brakes on it, hopefully. $500. Yeah, I got a lot in this, and that's not good. I'm gonna do a cost breakdown roughly at the end of this. Well, not at the end of this video, but probably the next video. Surprisingly enough, these drums came right off of the back. Not gonna complain at all about that. I did get new shoes for the back. The front, I don't know about those yet, but as for now, it should hopefully come apart decently. I've already sprayed everything, like the adjuster and everything. Brake lines off. No issues with that either. Used a little bit of heat. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but I don't think this is gonna be that bad. It's my first time doing drum brakes solo, so hopefully there's no disaster. Quarter of the way there. 1/4 done. Gonna go to that side, front right, the driver's side, and then we're gonna change the master cylinder. All wheel cylinders are done. Now we gotta get this brake line off, or the brake hose rather. Currently fighting with this pin on the master cylinder. Been messing with this for 2 days now. Today is now Monday, and we started the brakes on Saturday. But we're almost there. And we have a clutch linkage now. All the brake hose is on. Master cylinder is on. I'm gonna try and gravity bleed it now and see how many leaks we have with the metal lines. But I think they might actually be alright, so I guess we're about to find out. We got an ultra safe throttle linkage on here. Dude, look at this. Oh my gosh. We about to go real far on that, boys. Oh, we still got gas too? So we got some seats from Tommy. Shout out to Tommy. He gave me these seats. I think they're out of a Chrysler Town and Country, but they already had the brackets on them for something old. So what not a better home than in the Apache. We got a lot of junk in the bed of this thing we got to get rid of. Seats fit really good. Look at that fitment. No bolts. Give her a little test sit. Oh, wow. Dude, this could not be better, I don't think. Looking like a successful mission on these seats. Tommy got us right now. Look at this. I gotta adjust the shifter some, but reverse. I'm gonna flip the shifter to where it's on this side, so it'll move it over hopefully enough where I can slide the seat over and be centered versus the seat being here and the wheel being like here. You can pretty much see it though. But yeah, so Sunday morning right now, like 10 o'clock. I want to adjust this distributor, but I don't want to make the neighbors mad, so got choices to make right now. Pretty sure this is vacuum advance. I'm pretty sure I got it hooked up right. This thing revs like cracking a whip now, and I also did turn the distributor counterclockwise. So this thing revs up good, but church is in right now, so I'm not going to be over here revving this thing out. So we still got our, we need no oil caps. We got absorbent towels in there, but I am going to drive it around the back of the parking lot and see if we can hit first and second right here, and I'm going to put it up. I'd call that a successful parking lot drive. About lost our fuel reserve there. Glad we didn't. That's gonna wrap up part one of this. I did not plan on this being this long, but stuff happens. So next video we got full boards, cap corners, rocker panels, bolt the seats down, and probably clear coat it too. Today is August the 3rd. I started this video on Thanksgiving Day of 2024, so it's been a long time. It should not have took this long. Bought another truck in the process, but yeah, make sure you stay tuned for part 2, and I'll see you guys next time.